1 to 1.1 or 1 to 1.5, but let's just say they only went 1 to 1. So that means you can borrow money that the interest rate is no more than $300,000 a month or $3.6 million a year. And that interest rate probably would equate to, I said 10%. So that means you could borrow $36 million on a 10% interest. 3 million, paying $3 million a year, or 3.6 million because I rounded it up. So in this instance, at 10%, it's 10 to 1. It's pretty simple. Right now, it's more like 7 or 8%. So you might be able to borrow $40 million. But that's 100% of the cash flow, and 100% of the assets you're buying. But that's the kind of rule of thumb. Okay? The difference between intra and interstate, for Marcus, this doesn't mean anything, but the intrastate, when banks loan money across state lines, the regulations are federal. And when they're within the state, they're not federal, they're state. Why there is a bank and investor somewhere that will finance this, because there's a sucker born every minute, that's why. Okay. If you're categorized from A to F, your paper, if you have debt, you're going to be C or D paper. A paper, AAA paper is Ford Motor, not Ford Motor Company, excuse me. Procter & Gamble is AAA paper. Ford used to be AAA paper. Ford's probably B paper. And it's categorized, and variations based on the probability of you getting your money back if you should buy the paper. One of the ways, a good way to finance your business without taking on debt is to leverage your receivables. If you have a business with your receivables, if I'm ABC company and I do business with Dave and he has my paper, he can take it to Doris, the banker, and he says, okay, why don't you give me 85 or 90% of value of that paper so I can, so now Doris owns my paper. Okay? And that's leveraging receivables. Factoring receivables is where Dave actually sells my paper to you. Okay, so, and he's cut out on the middle. Receivables is a 3-part transaction. Factoring is a 2-part transaction most of the time. So now you're looking to me. You don't give a shit about Dave anymore. You're looking to me to pay you off. And so factoring receivables is an excellent way if you're in that kind of business that you have receivables. And then you don't have to take on debt. There's many people that have grown their business on receivables and factoring with precluding themselves from getting into the debt situation. I believe that debt is the preeminent lever or sword for QLA. It's a 2-edged sword and it works both ways. It's great when business is going like this. It's absolutely death. It can be death when business is going down. And it's just like a margin account. When the stocks are going up, the bonds are going up, or whatever's going up, it's great. When everything's going down and you've only put up 30% equity in your account, in the old days you only had to put 5 or 10% equity. So the market didn't have to shift much before you lost all your money. And then you have to have margin calls. Well, when you're factoring and doing reciprocal financing, they don't allow that. So the leverage works the other way. You're being able to get the cash early. Because in many businesses, you do businesses and you sell out 6 months or 26 months or 50 months. And so you have this paper, but you need the cash to be able to manufacture or produce the stuff. And so you go to the bank or you go to a receivable house or you go to a factory.